This is Town of Ayer Zoning Board of Appeals. Wednesday, June 22nd, 2023, 6 p.m. Remote participation meeting agenda. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, OML, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirements that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. Public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID 857-9728-7177 or by calling 312-626-6799. For additional information about the remote participation, please contact Samantha Benoit, Administrative Coordinator at sbenoit@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 114 prior to the meeting. I will call the meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. And first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second,
All in favor signify by saying aye. State your name.
Jessica Gino, aye.
Mike Gibbons, aye.
Ron DeFilippo, aye.
Sorry, Ron, go ahead.
He did.
No, go. I did. Yeah, go ahead, Marilyn. I said aye.
Oh, did you? Okay. Marilyn Schmallenberger, aye.
Sam Goodwin says aye. All right, so the agenda is approved. First item on the agenda, public hearing application for variance Littleton Road Realty. Public hearing notice, the Ayer ZBA will be conducting a remote public hearing at 6:05 p.m. Wednesday, June 21st, 2023, regarding an application submitted by Littleton Road Realty, Inc. for the property located at 38 Littleton Road, Ayer, Mass., Gage Cannabis. The applicant is seeking a variance pursuant to Ayer zoning bylaw section 9.5.5, size of signs, in which the maximum height allowed is 15 feet. For Zoom or call-in information, please contact zba@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 114. We have an email address for ZBA?
Yes, we do.
How long have we had that?
I discovered it maybe 2 weeks ago. It was being forwarded to Carly previous, and now it's getting forwarded to me. So I'm switching everything over to that, so it's generic. So if I leave, the email will carry on.
I've been on this board for years. I never even knew we had this.
Yes.
All right.
That's
Anyway,
great.
this,
Surprises all the time.
yeah, really. This was at, the applicant advertised June 2nd, 2023 and June 9th, 2023, Neshoba Valley Voice. We have a representative on the call, I assume. Tony, is that you?
Hi, yep. My name's Tony. I'm from Sunshine Sign Company. We're representing Gage Cannabis in their pursuit for a variance of their sign.
Okay. Why? All right. Well, I thought I saw a signature in here that, yeah, there it is. Give permission and allows for Sunshine Sign to represent Late Spring. Oh, okay. As aides on our behalf in the Gage building sign-in discussion. All right, sir. I'm pretty sure we've all read the package, but you're up. So let's.
Sure.
What you got to say?
Yeah. So the biggest thing for them there, they are in compliance on every measure except for the height on this sign. And I can pull it up, pull up an image here if I'm permitted to share my screen. Is that okay with everyone?
Turn that on for you.
Cindy will bring it up. Yeah.
The
You're all set.
disembodied voice.
do it. So she'll bring it up for me.
Yeah,
But so essentially the dispute or the need for the variance comes with the height of the sign. There's currently an awning in place, and it's a permanent awning attached to the structure, and it just prevents the sign being within the 15-foot guidelines. It puts it so it would have to be above that. If you look at the building, it's the only clear and obvious place for a sign, for an ID sign like this. They are just trying to, we just try to do everything by the books. And this is something that they just want to make sure that they're, cooperating with the town to meet all the needs, which is why they're pursuing the variance. The one need specifically that they have, because they've had a little bit of trouble with this, is there's only one, especially with cannabis industry, where there's very strict regulations on entry and access, and the fogging of the window, things like that. They've had an issue where people go to the side entrance, and that's supposed to be for employees only. There's no real signifier on the building that says that is the primary entrance, that the front is the primary entrance. So this is something that goes on the building. It makes it very clear that this is the front entrance. This is where you go in, and I think that's something that would help their cause in that respect. But most specifically, it's just this sign. If you look at once we see the building, the front kind of demands a sign to be there, really, if visually.
we saw all the photographs were in the package.
Mhm.
So I guess I looked at your reasons for your variances. All right. And I don't see where the additional sign on the front is going to redirect traffic, be it front or side door. I would think that's I see that. I don't see where signs that direct people come under this. I mean, if you put a sign on the side door that says employees only, I mean, that should be pretty standard. And
I believe there is.
entrance and exit on the front.
Yeah, I believe there is a sign on the side of the door. They're still having an issue with that.
Well, what good will it do to put this sign on the front of the building to mitigate people trying to go in the side? I don't get that.
That's just one of their reasonings, where this is on the front, and it makes it very clear that this is the front of the building, and these are the doors that you should be entering through. Whereas previously, it just kind of looks like a house. It looks like a house otherwise, and that's in part due that's just the architecture of the building. This makes it look like a business, and that looks like the front entry of a business, as opposed to just a house or a committee building or something like that.
All right. What do you think, Chris? You have more, sir?
Nope, that's it. That's about everything I have.
No.
Really, there's feasible alternative locations on the front of the building at that height. We tried to measure the space in between we measured the space beneath the windows on either side, just where that could, again, be a place where a sign potentially could go on the front of the building to indicate, this is the front of a business. And the sign that they were looking for, which is within the guidelines, square foot size, it just would not be there. It's not something that would be accessible space wise for that sign. So, which is why we would need to put it on the larger space above the awning.
So just to be clear, you're allowed to have your two signs. You meet the square footage requirement. The only variance you're looking for is the height. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you have to have that variance because of the awning on the front.
Correct. Yeah, we'd have to remove the awning entirely. in order to do that. And it is a fixture. It's been on the building since before the building was purchased.
Okay. Any of you guys got questions? Jess,
Nope.
Ron,
I see no problem with this. I'd rather see the symbol than letters. It seems to fit in with the building better. I understand the the structural problem there that they cannot put the sign anywhere else, and I'm fine with it.
okay,
Without saying anything more, I'm good with it.
okay, thank you. Mike,
Ron covered all my points. I agree with everything he said, and I'm okay with it.
okay, Marilyn,
I have no problem with it. I think the design of it actually does draw the eye more to the main entrance. It's a little higher, but it seems to be in line with the architecture of the building. I think design-wise, it looks okay. The only other thing they might possibly have done was maybe to do some writing on the canopy. But I have no problem with it.
thank you. All right, well, make a motion, Mike.
Certainly will. The only question I have is, Tony, I'm looking at this image on the screen right now, and it looks to me like the maximum sign height is 20 feet 4 inches. Is that correct?
The maximum sign height. Yeah. Let me hold on a second. I've got if it wasn't in the package, I've got the exact measurements somewhere here.
Okay.
You want to put a height limitation on the variance, Mike?
I mean, generally it's something we do, but I don't have to. I just figured if he has a figure, I'll throw it on there. And
Okay,
Yeah. So the bottom the top of the awning is we had it at approximately 14 feet.
Mhm.
So this sign above, if you account for the space and it's in part the architecture of the building, wiring and everything to get to this sign is going to dictate exactly where. But you figure at least a foot and a half above that awning is where this would need to be at the bottom. So the top of it would be which should still be at or around the 20-foot mark.
Okay. So if I said 20 feet 6 inches, does that give you enough?
I believe it does. Again, that the space between what determines that is once they put this sign up, the space between the awning and the bottom of the sign, and there could be some structural constraints that our install guys won't know until they actually get out there to put the thing up.
Okay. With that being said, I make a motion to grant a variance pursuant to the Ayer zoning bylaw, section 9.5.5, size of signs, to allow for a maximum height of 21 feet, where 15 feet is allowed, to Littleton Road Realty, Inc. for the property located at 38 Littleton Road, Ayer, Mass. Gage Cannabis.
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye, state your name.
Jessica Gino, aye.
Mike Gibbons, aye.
Ron DeFilippo, aye.
Marilyn Schmallenberger, aye.
Tim Goodwin says aye. All right, sir, you have your variance. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you all. Have a great night.
Thank you. I make a motion, we close the public hearing for Littleton Road Realty.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye, state your name, please.
Jessica Gino, aye.
Mike Gibbons, aye.
Ron DeFilippo, aye.
Marilyn Schmallenberger, aye.
I'm saying Goodwin, aye. Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from April 19th, 2023. I read those.
Great history.
Yeah, I think that's, I think
No.
you did a good job covering everything.
Thank you, Samantha.
Yes.
Really fine.
Thank you.
That was a hard one to cover. That was awful.
Did you just have to go back and review the tapes when you made this, the minutes?
Oh my goodness.
The majority of that was from my notes, but I did have to review portions of the tape.
I would think so, yeah.
Brother.
I don't envy you.
No,
No, that was the design test, as they say in engineering.
proof test. All right.
Yeah, proof test, whatever.
I make a
Design
motion, we
hours.
approve the minutes of the meeting for April 19th, 2023 as published.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. State your name.
Jessica Gino, aye.
Mike Gibbons, aye.
Ron DeFilippo, aye.
Carolyn Schmalberger, aye.
Sam Goodwin, aye. All right, next item on the agenda is board discussion. Samantha, what is that?
That was something Mike had asked that we include going forward so that we may
Oh, okay, all right.
discuss things that maybe the board needs to discuss.
Do we have a meeting next month?
We do have a meeting next month.
Okay,
It will be put at the bottom of the agenda. It will be on July 19th.
Hmm,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the meeting's at July 19th. We do have one application for a variance at this time.
just trying to figure out where I am in July.
Wow.
July what? 19th? No, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's good for me too.
Yeah.
All right.
So if we are going to meet on the 19th, Sam, one thing that I think we should add onto the agenda, and it might be a good idea to make this a carry through item to the next few meetings so we don't spend 2 hours on it in one night, is just a review and refresher for the board's rules and regs.
You know, I thought about that,
Yes.
Mike, and I agree with that. But what I was thinking about was after summer, it's like sometime in September, maybe October, we would have a meeting with like one item on it, and we would
Mhm.
do an in-face meeting at the town hall, and we could sit there and go over everything right then and there, looking at each other instead of on Zoom. That was just a thought
Yes.
I had.
Yes.
I prefer if we do that meeting in person, frankly.
Absolutely.
Because I think
Yeah, hold on.
Absolutely.
No,
it's the best way to hash it out.
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's why I
Yes.
was thinking maybe September, maybe October, we get a meeting that's just got one item on it or maybe two small items on it. We meet at the town hall and we can go over face to face our guidelines and everything and discuss them right then and there.
That I think that's a
Mr.
great
Chairman.
idea.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So the idea would be that we would all come with some ideas on the current minute. I'm sorry, the current, what are they calling the latest thing is called
It's not even a bylaw.
rules and
Guideline.
procedures. That's what it's
Yes.
called.
Yes.
So we could mark those up maybe and with our own ideas if we
Yeah.
see need for a change there, and just
Absolutely.
discuss them and come to some kind of
Absolutely.
agreement.
Yep.
And also,
Now-
Mr. Chairman, the
Sorry. Sorry, Ron.
just one more thing. Just one. All right.
sir.
I understand the need for these Zoom meetings, especially I'm looking at the chairman there in a distant location. I would like to go back to I don't expect any decisions tonight, but I would like to go back to in-person meetings. That's something for all of us to consider. Maybe the rest of the board's got so used to this. I'm not trying to criticize anybody, but I think we gain a lot by having face-to-face meetings. And it's something we should consider perhaps at that same business meeting that we will have for considering the rules and procedures.
Well, as I understand it,
Or before, I don't know.
as I understand it, and Samantha, correct me if I'm wrong, our Zoom meetings are optional. They're not mandatory.
Correct. Zoom meetings are a choice.
So we can actually do a hybrid, Ron. We could do face to face, maybe next month or 2 months after that. We could do a Zoom if we had to. It just just depends on what we want to do, because we're good for the Zoom meetings, I think, until April of 25. Is that right?
Yeah, it's
Forever.
like 2 years. I
Yeah.
will just say, for me, I need to know in advance, because when I post the public hearing notices, I need to state whether it's remote or in person.
Right,
I do.
right.
need
Oh,
to know
sure.
in advance.
Yeah. So let's
Absolutely.
yeah, that'll be a good topic, another topic of conversation at our face-to-face meeting. Like I suggested, September or October timeframe, after the holidays, after summer is over and things are settling back down, I think it would be a good idea for us to get together at the town hall and sit down and go over the things that we need to go over.
Also,
Yes.
I think Carly, when Conservation Commission was debating whether to go back in person, she had said at the time that whatever decision you make, be better to stick with it and be consistent. So I'm not sure that town hall would love it if we went back and forth.
Well, it's just a matter of reserving the room. I mean, technically speaking, all the thing we have to we meet the same time every month, every day, every week. So if we can't reserve that room when we need it, I mean, who's using it right now? Nobody, is there?
No.
Yeah, see, so that's a slot. And I don't want to belabor the issue, but unfortunately, some Zoom works well for me because I'm on the road all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yes.
can work my schedule around to where I'm home. But being in the middle of the week is a killer. I mean, it's just tough. If we, like, my cemetery commission meeting is on a Monday, which works out fine. I can do that one and bail out Tuesday morning. So it's more of this Zoom is more of a convenience for me than it is for the rest of you guys, because everybody else is in town. So that being said, if we decide collectively to go back to face-to-face for all of our meetings, then I'll have to try to work around and accommodate it. That's all I can do. But it's us collectively. This is a democratic process. So however we decide to do that is what we'll do. So I think that's some of the things we need to discuss. Yes.
Well, Mr. Chairman, as you said, we could, in the previous, to give Samantha sufficient public notice.
Yes.
We could decide that at the end of each meeting. And,
Yes.
if we could do it, I understand, we're trying to accommodate, this is a citizen board. We're just we're out there doing other things. And,
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
thanks I just wanted to entertain that idea.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
We Samantha and I had talked about this earlier on, about a month ago?
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And I'm glad. Thank you, Michael, for adding this to the agenda. And we'll keep it on there, board discussion. But that was one of the things that we were going to talk about. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Samantha sent out all the regulations, or not the regulation.
Yeah.
Is it a regulation? It's not a regulation. It's a
Rules,
procedure.
Yeah, they call it.
They
Yeah.
have weird names.
Yeah. They gave it a,
Yeah, rules and procedures.
yeah. So we can go through that and amend or modify it any way we choose, because it's our procedure. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have to be blessed by anyone. It's our guidelines of how we as the board right now and in the future are going to function. So yeah, absolutely.
I have one thing for the board to maybe consider with the rules.
What's that?
I would like to update the hearing application.
Okay.
I've seen quite a few that are very good, and I like their format, and I think it would give the board more information going into
I don't think I've seen
into a
one.
hearing.
Great.
I don't think.
Absolutely.
Have you guys seen the applications? I've not seen one, I don't think.
That's what's included in the packet. Those first
Page
Yeah.
3.
Okay.
Yeah, that form
Yeah,
letter.
so
Oh,
this is
yeah,
our
okay.
current application.
That's right.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. You're right.
I've looked
So-
at a few other towns, and I will say most CBA applications are in like the 5-page range.
Uh.
And you have to answer very specific questions.
Okay.
So I have a few drafts
Yeah.
and I'd love to send them to you guys to at least look at.
Sure,
Mhm.
sure,
Super fine, yes.
good.
Can you resend the rules and procedures again, too?
Yes, I can send those again.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. Anything else on board discussion? Crickets. I hear crickets.
Crickets.
All right. That being said, it looks to me about 6:27. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Jessica Gino, aye.
Mike Gibbons, aye.
Come on.
Ron DeFilippo, aye. I
Marilyn
did.
Sullivan, aye.
Ron DeFilippo, hey.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
Sam Goodwin says aye. Thank you, everyone, for your participation, and we'll see you next month.